Kovac, GardenStateHSWrestling.com. We are at the Garden State Wrestling Prospects Camp at St. Joseph High School in Metuchen. And we're fortunate enough to be joined by Scott Goodale. He is the wrestling coach at Rutgers University in New Jersey and a member of the Big Ten for the past 11, 12 years. You've been there for 18. How did joining the Big Ten affect the wrestling program?
Quite a bit, actually. I mean, I like to think we're always trying to recruit the best guys in the country. We had this vision. We were going to do certain things along the way, and some of our best recruiting classes were even before we entered the Big Ten. So we always go after the best guys, but it really, you could tell just the dynamic, the in-home visits, the on-campus visits, the off-campus visits, everything started to change once you're a member of the Big Ten Conference. It's clear you're in the running, you're in the mix with every major recruit in the country because of the conference and how competitive it is. And obviously, there's national champs come out of it every single year, the most national champs, team national champs. It's the best wrestling conference in the country, and the best guys, for the most part, want to be in that. Now, there's some other conferences that are certainly closing that gap, but just being in that conference allowed us in the conversation with the best kids in the country.
So are you seeing more kids reach out to you?
Yeah, there's a lot of that. But everything changed, not just from our wrestling program, the university, right? The athletic department, our facilities, everything had to be upgraded to be able to compete in this conference. And again, it just wasn't wrestling, but it certainly helped our program. But yeah, there's a lot more recruits that will reach out to us because of the conference, because of the home match atmosphere, because of the teams that we bring into Jersey Mike's Arena, the teams that we bring to Piscataway. So it certainly helped. Again, it gets us in the conversation with the best kids in the country.
You're at a camp right now where there are primarily New Jersey wrestlers. You get a lot of wrestling talent that wants to stay close to home, but wants to be for a big-time program?
We do. That's even changing. You know, we kind of realized, you know, maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago that to really get this thing over the hump, so to speak, was we're probably going to have to do this nationally. So it's not that we got away from recruiting Jersey. It's one of the best states in the country, obviously. And we see the best kids in the country year-round, whether it's the Scarlet Knight Wrestling Club or clinics like this. So we see those kids, we're comfortable with those guys, there's familiarity with those guys, but for us to get to a certain level, it has to be done nationally. So we have to get California, and we have to get Pennsylvania, which borders us, and it's the best wrestling state there is. So we've tried to really focus on doing that, even with the last couple hires on our staff are both Pennsylvania guys. Steve Mittich, Mike Labarola are from Lehigh Valley, so there's no secret. We've tried to get into the Valley. So as good as Jersey is, and we love the Jersey kids and we want to keep them all home, there's been a strong effort to go national with this thing. And we've tried to, some of our best kids, you know, Dylan Shawver is downstairs right now, is from Ohio. And most of our starters, you know, a couple of our starters are Pennsylvania. So there's been a change over the last 4 or 5 years.
It has to lengthen the recruiting season for you.
Yeah, that doesn't end. The recruiting season, I know there's dead periods, and there's a push to have more dead periods, and there's been a lot of talk. We just got back from the National Wrestling Coaches Association convention, and there's been some dead periods that have put in to make it easier on coaches, but it's the recruiting never ends. It started earlier and earlier. You know, we just got done visiting upcoming juniors. We just got done doing home visits last week, and it's nonstop. So that really doesn't end, and that's part of the business. We understood that when we took this job 18 years ago. So that's part of it. Something I actually enjoy doing, though. I do like getting into the homes, traveling, getting on airplanes, going out to California. It's pretty cool to see, you know, how different states operate and how they train and prepare and things like that. So it's been fun.
Who are some of the Scarlet Knights that you're expecting big things from in 2025, 26?
Yeah, well, we have, you know, as much as I hate this portal thing and the way college sports is going, not just wrestling, we've been pretty successful in the portal. So we brought in 3 really good guys that are going to help our lineup. I think we'll have 10 guys, you know, probably all ranked in the top 15. You know, we'll have a freshman at 125 who maybe won't be ranked to start the season, but he's one for us, and Aiden Smith. But we'll have 10 guys that all have national tournament experience, that have all won matches at the national tournament, a bunch around the 12 guys, a couple All-Americans in the lineup. So top to bottom, it's a really, really good dual meet team. But we bolstered our lineup up top. And I don't, at this point in the summer, you don't know who's going to be the number one, but we were fortunate enough to get the services of Lenny Pinto from Nebraska, Remy Cotton from Michigan State, and Hunter Kaka from Virginia Tech. 3 guys who have been successful at the national tournament and come to our program from the portal. So that's all part of it now as well. But we're still about recruiting and developing, and we still have our guys that can make this lineup very strong.
The portal's been a big change for college athletics. NIL, name, image, likeness, has been another huge change. We've heard a lot about it in football, in basketball. Is NIL having an impact on wrestling?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The way it's intended, the way it was supposed to be intended to work is kind of the way we're still doing it, if that makes sense. NIL, name, image, and likeness, and companies, and, putting your face on billboards and companies, branding them and things like that. That's kind of the way it was supposed to be. The pay for play, revenue share. I'm not sure how much revenue share is going to go into wrestling. I would like to think at Rutgers, maybe there's an opportunity for revenue share. But right now I feel like most revenue share at the Power 4 conferences are going to football programs and basketball programs. So, but we'll have a sit down with our athletic director who's brand new this week, and maybe there's an opportunity for Rutgers Wrestling to be involved in the revenue share. That's something we would certainly help us for sure. But there's no question about it. Name, image, and likeness is a big deal in college wrestling. I'd like to think we're in the ball game, but I also understand the dynamic of it. And there's certain programs that are a step above everybody else. And then I kind of think we're in that middle tier where we can compete in the NIL space.
What do you think you can do in terms of competing on the mat this upcoming season?
I think we could do a lot. I think it's a great team. I think it's great chemistry. It's been an awesome summer, but in our sport, as you know, we're going to have a very successful November, December, all the way leading up to February. It's what we do in March, and I've known that for a long time now. Unfortunately, there's no dual meet national championship, so it's about what you do in March, and some years are better than others, and we're coming off a year where that Friday night, the blood round, we lost 3 matches in 25 minutes, and that kind of dictates your season. Went from a top, we finished 11th in the country in the last poll, and then lost 3 blood round matches. So that stings our guys quite a bit, and that's part of the sport. We're going to continue to do what we do. I think we're getting a lot better, but we have to perform in March, and that's the bottom line. You got to perform that Friday night, and hopefully that next Saturday, that third weekend in March.
That tough blood round, is that a motivator for them this offseason?
I got to believe so. There's some hungry guys who didn't get what they wanted. One actually left our program and is at Iowa right now, but I'm sure that will motivate him. Yeah, we got some guys in there, even a couple guys that have transferred in are blood round guys. Kaka's a blood round guy. Pinto's a blood round guy. Shawver's an All-American Big Ten champ who's now a blood round guy. Joey Oliveri, lost in the blood round. So we have some guys that certainly stings. And then, we bring in this recruiting class as a top 10 recruiting class, and these guys want to wrestle right away. So there's not only a chip on their shoulder to perform at the national tournament, they got to worry about what's in their own room, and there's a lot of competition, which is great for Rutgers Wrestling.
What are some of the matches coming this winter at the Jersey Mike's Arena that the fans might want to show up for?
Yeah, so the Big Ten matches are always going to be great. I know we bring in, I believe, Purdue, Michigan, Maryland. I'm missing one off the top of my head, but I know out of conference we'll wrestle Oklahoma, which will be really cool. And at our place, and Princeton is always a big deal.
Always
a big match, just an in-state thing. So
it doesn't matter what you're playing.
No, doesn't matter what we're doing. So that'll be big. And then we go on the road to Ryder, and then of course the Big Ten. We go on the road, but it's a great schedule. I think we'll have 9 home duels, which is good. We'll start with a quad to get things going, and then we'll get into wrestle Drexel and Oklahoma at home in early December. So it'll be good home slate at Jersey Mike's Arena. Great wrestling atmosphere. We're fortunate enough to do it in front of 7,000 every single night, and on a bad night, it's 4,000. So
And they're strong wrestling fans.
very knowledgeable, very, very knowledgeable, and they want to see winners. And there's expectations with everything that is done on at Rutgers and what we've done and having All-Americans and national champions. There's a lot of expectations, and they expect a really good product. And if it's not good, they'll let you know about it, which is good. That's what we wanted. We've always wanted to build that. And there's expectations when you come to Rutgers to perform at a certain level, and we understand that.
Good luck this season. Thanks for taking a few minutes to join us. Rutgers coach Scott Goodale on GardenStateHSWrestling.com.